For my last ride of the day on the Harley-Davidson Sportster S. Now this is the version with the forward controls. I rode that one that you're looking at right there with the mid controls yesterday. So this is not my first ride on the Sportster. Let's get going here. Road mode. All right. Let's get going. So like I mentioned, this is actually my second ride on the Sportster S. Took it out for a little rip last night. I thoroughly enjoyed and was impressed by this motorcycle. I think it's, I want to say 125 horsepower, 94, 95 foot-pounds of torque. It has an aggressive seating position, you know, leaning pretty far forward. I don't know that you'd call these drag bars or what, but they're pretty far forward. We're in road mode. It has road, rain, and sport. And let me tell you something, sport mode on this bike is a beast. We're just in second gear, 4,000 RPMs. This engine it's tuned differently than the Pan America, but you ride it very similarly. The main difference between the Sportster S engine and the Pan America engine, so as far as I've been able to tell, is you get a little more torque lower down on the Sportster S, which makes a lot of sense. It's a cruiser. And I'll be honest, before I rode this bike, I just kind of had it in my mind that this bike was made to kill the Indian Scout. The Scout Killer, that's what I was telling myself. Having ridden it, I am very comfortable saying this bike was not made to compete with the Indian Scout at all. This bike is like a head-to-head competitor with the FTR. It's very similar in terms of its performance, its power. And I'll be honest, I had to take a carbon out yesterday after I rode this bike just to remind myself, well, wait, how did the FTR really feel? They're real comparable. They're both wonderful bikes. Not to give away my little test ride here, but yeah, I think the Sportster S is a fantastic bike. It is super nimble. These big tires, you know, I've seen reviews where they talk about the shape of the tire. It's kind of high in the center. And you know, it turns without any issue. This ride is a little chased so far because of the traffic, but yesterday I was flying around here, flying through corners, and had not a care in the world. What I can tell you about the riding position, so this is with the forward controls. I actually prefer this on the Sportster. I was not crazy about the mid controls, mostly because it kept my calf right up against this big fat exhaust. And when I'm at a stop, you know, I can't flat foot this bike, partially because the exhaust is pretty big, and keeping my legs spread far enough apart to make way for the exhaust means I get less foot down on the ground. But I mean, the bike feels super light, like it's not an issue, not a problem. Really nice bar end mirrors, you see everything. And remember, this is road mode. So last night when I took the FTR out, I got stuck up ahead in this traffic circle because someone launched a Sportster S like through the center of the traffic circle. Damn near severed the front wheel from the bike. I think it was just hanging on from the wiring. He got airlifted out. And I had an opportunity to try an FTR and stop and go traffic for about 30 minutes. I have to be honest with you, I was pleasantly surprised by how nice the FTR was in traffic. You know, it's got so much torque. You don't use the throttle at all. You just feather that clutch and you're scooting along without a problem. But hopefully we won't have any of those issues today. And apparently there's a cop up ahead, which really sucks. We'll see if that's true. So again, I'm in traffic. I'm not gonna really jam on the brakes for emergency braking, but these big brakes do just fine stopping this bike. We're gonna pop it in sport mode. Rain Road Sport. Oh, you feel those big wheels. They feel fantastic pulling this bike along. And you know, the feeling of the torque on this motorcycle is never ending. I mean, there's at no point do you feel like you're about to run out of pop on this bike. Really impressive. Just the same way I felt on the Pan America. I was so taken with that Revolution Max. And it's just as rewarding in the Sportster. I think even more so because your power's a little lower down. You're not revving, you don't have to rev up to 6,000 RPMs all the time to get the sweet spot. And you know, so how does this bike compare to the FTR? I mean, like I said, really comparably in terms of power and performance. Comfort, I think the FTR might be slightly more comfortable. But I also think that's just a question of what kind of bars you put on the bike. It's you know, when it comes to the looks of the Sportster S, you know, not everyone's cup of tea. I'm probably a little more partial to the FTR just because it's so unique. But I think the Sportster looks good. It looks sharp. The dash is great. It's really clear. It's, you know, like Indian's Chief. It's a real sharp dash. They did a real fine job with it. These guys are making it tough to take advantage of sport mode. Everyone keeps flashing cops up ahead. That really sucks. I don't even know what the speed limit is here. We'll get up to the traffic circle, we'll turn around, and then we'll freaking floor it as soon as we know where this cop is. Oh yeah, there he is. Oh, that's so uncool. Why is this cop pulling people over on this demo road? It's terrible. So third gear, 4,000 RPMs just about. Bike is fully comfortable here. Loads of power right at your disposal. That's just a little twist of the throttle. Shifting was a little sloppy there. I am holding on for dear life. I mean, that's in fourth gear. Wasn't trying to downshift and get max power or any of that, and this bike just flies, man. I think overall, I think this bike feels more powerful than the FTR. I don't remember the FTR specs off the top of my head. I think they're comparable, but there's something about the torque on this bike that grabs you, man, and you just feel it. As I said about other bikes, in every fiber of your being. It's amazing. Right here, dead ahead, is where the guy launched his Sportster. It was in two pieces right there. You gotta be careful of this cop. Old DMV SoloRider's still hurting from that last speeding ticket I got. You got to be a little careful. Wait till we get past him. Hopefully he's still there and we can mark his location. But you know, so when it comes to the Sportster S, whether you love it or you hate the look, I think as motorcycle enthusiasts, we should all be commending Harley for building it, doing something different. It's a fine machine, and I'm sure you can put handlebar risers, give yourself whatever kind of seating position you really want here. Cop's going the other way. Oh, it just feels amazing. And you know, when you're riding a bike like this, you got nothing in front of you, it feels like you're flying. And you know, it would have been nice to ride that MT-09, but so far I think the Sportster S or the Carbon, not sure which, is the fastest bike I've ever ridden. Really nice, really impressed all the way around. You know, suspension is very firm. Forgot to talk about that. It's very firm, but when you're just riding, it's fine. When you go over a big pothole or something, we'll hit one coming up, you feel it for sure. On that note, it's not like the Pan America, which was like a pogo stick up and down over bumps. But again, through, you know, curvy little roads like this, not a problem turning the bike. Easy peasy. And you can see the curve of that tire. Hopefully you're getting that in the camera angle as I try and pay attention to what I'm doing. Just really nice. I really enjoy riding this. You know, definitely not an all-day touring bike. Not even close. But if you're looking for a bike for popping around town and getting out there and enjoying some twisties, it's a great motorcycle. Would be a great bike to own for those more limited purposes compared to, you know, a lot of the riding that I do. Long miles, long hours. You know, this stock riding position, I feel it in my neck and my shoulders. Well done, Harley-Davidson. Second new Harley release that I think is a home run. We're just in third gear, just cruising. I could be in second without a problem. Grips are really skinny on this bike. I'd rather them be a little fatter. I'm not crazy about skinny grips. Ooh, that's that bad pothole and I just broke my ass. Just broke my butt. Yeah, I'll be honest, so when I was on the mid controls, I had trouble reaching, like you see how far apart the brake pedal is from the peg. I had trouble reaching it on those mid controls. It was just a little awkward because it was almost like parallel and I was having to lean forward. This is much more comfortable. I think this bike was made for forward controls. I dig it. Neutral, easy to find. That has not often been the case on my test rides here at IMS Outdoors. And here we are back at the fairgrounds. I love the sound of this bike. You know, the exhaust sounds throaty, sounds powerful. It's not overly loud. It's not going to make you deaf. One other thing I don't think I really talked about is the throttle is really nice. It's not herky-jerky. It's pretty precise and reliable in sport mode. You know, a lot of times on these ride-by-wire, sport mode is kind of a bit of a nightmare. I don't find that to be the case on the Sportster S at all. And also, you know, Indian made a big deal about fixing the throttle on the FTR, and I think they did a real nice job with that. When I was stuck in stop-and-go traffic on the FTR last night, I had not a single issue. Wow, crowd's really thinned out. I've been here since 7. It started at 8 or 9. I don't even remember. Got here at 8. Started at 9. So guys, you know, not to beat a dead horse, but whether you like the Sportster S or not, or the Pan America or not, the engine is just freaking amazing. Really nice. Really nice. And I give a huge thumbs up to Harley for making it. And I just hope they eventually come out with that Bronx. I think that bike looked sharp. Alright guys, that is our ride on the Sportster S. Outstanding. Beautiful bike, amazing engine, can't get enough of it.